Property Investing for Women, empowering women to build wealth through property. A podcast brought to you by Investor Women. Create, nurture, prosper.
Hi, it's me, Reshmi Kumar, here with you today. Since the start of the podcast, I have brought stories to you from clients. You would have also heard from Kathy Brown, an investment-savvy mortgage broker, and then last month you heard my story. I am hoping to bring information that inspires and empowers you to think about your future and start to take action. I'd like to ask if you would comment on the episodes or send me an email to let me know what you would like me to talk about. Why not share the podcast with the young women in your life? What I'd like to see is women by the time they are in their mid-40s are financially independent. Let's face it, we are all living longer. How good would that be when you're still young and have managed to become financially successful? Can I share a secret? I'd like to mirror my results in others. Now, not everyone may want it, but I'd like to be able to see that I have made it possible for another woman to succeed. Whether you are alone or investing with a spouse or partner, I am hoping to empower you to make an impact on your life and eventually impacting your children, creating generational wealth. What gives me the authority to talk about this? My years of investing experience. My own story of how I turned $4,500 to a multi-million-dollar property portfolio. Keeping it all together when times were tough. I started young and went through different stages, seeing how it all changes as you progress through life. Now, living the life as I dreamt of, to have the ability to make choices because money is not an issue. Let's say it's like been there and done that. More about my story is in the previous episode. Now, many women I talk to tell me that they didn't know how to go about it as there weren't any role models to follow. So here I'd like to share my results and the results of many others that I have worked with, so you feel comfortable in knowing that you're not alone. In the next episode, I will cover how to map out your journey, and then when we start the new year, we will reflect on that plan that we have made. This is the direction I would like to take the episodes, starting from now on. In between, I may bring either a client or another professional to share their experiences. This journey is long, a good 15 years with carefully selected properties and well-planned strategic implementations will show you the results. There comes a time when you decide if you want to continue working full-time, or is it time now you could change direction or pursue a passion? Your portfolio at that time allows for choices. This is also a time when you decide if you want to continue buying properties to pay down your loans or sit back and let time do the magic. Now, I know I wasn't in the forefront of our portfolio journey after the first 10 years, but boy oh boy, the work I did behind the scenes was what has given the strength to our portfolio. Keeping everything in order means you won't miss paying insurances to keep your portfolio safe. Yes, this happened with one of our properties, but because of good record keeping, it was picked up quickly and taken care of. Keeping it all together also means being focused during times of struggle. We had our fair share just like everyone else. It takes determination to get to the results. If I was to sum up my 25 years of investing, it started at a level where I had to educate myself and learn a lot. I spent a lot of money attending seminars, no matter who was presenting. And most of the time, it was someone wanting to sell their stock. I still gained knowledge without getting sucked into buying. It was just the two of us at the time. Now, it may not be possible if you have children, but now it is so much easier as we have podcasts available that you can listen to in your own time. This knowledge gathering stage is the stage I call the foundational stage. a lot goes on around this time to get yourself ready to start investing. When things aren't right and you have simply jumped in and started buying, you find yourself backpedaling, trying to fix the mistakes, and it takes time and it can cost other opportunities. That's why the foundational stage is so important. So today I wanted to talk about the things to think about in that foundational stage. It is not just how much money you can borrow or how much money you have to start with. These are important, but so are these other things. Things like your habits, your financial habits, decision making, receiving and giving habits, your mindset. Do you have an abundance mindset? Are you solutions oriented or just pointing out problems? What is your purpose? This may not be something you know yet. I am still exploring mine. Are you a big picture person or a detailed person? Detail is important, but we cannot let go of the big picture. Each detail is a small step toward the big picture, but we cannot be stuck on the detail forever. We should be able to decide when to move on. How about the purpose for investing instead? What about your passion? How often do you dream your dream? How vivid is it? Have you got a roadmap of your life or are taking each day as it comes? How much do you influence your life? You have this one life. What are you planning to do with it? What makes you happy? These are all great questions, and you may be wondering, what's that got to do with property investing? I say everything. This forms your framework for investing, and you know when to go hard, when to slow down, and when to totally stop. Once you know your why, it brings a lot of clarity. And once you have that clarity, it is then when you start planning your portfolio and designing your life. Let's say you have a good idea of your goals. Have you worked out now how much money you will need to achieve that? Have you worked out how much money you will need for your dream lifestyle? Are you willing to put in that effort to achieve it? Okay, let's say you're all ready to go. Now it's time to look at your position, your financial position. It is not just how much you can borrow and how much money you have to start with. You must think about how many years you're willing to give to this process and how much money are you willing to put towards this every week. Are you going to do this by yourself or are you going to have a mentor guiding you on your next steps? I am hoping that I get that opportunity to go on that journey with you. There is a lot here to think about. The year is coming to an end. What I'd like you to do is download my goal setting worksheet from my website and use this during the Christmas break to work on your goals. Feel free to share your goals with me by email. And with all that, we have come to the end of this episode, and I'd like to thank you for sticking with me to the end. Please also share this episode with someone you think will benefit from it. Till next time, with love. Bye for now.
The information featured in this podcast is general in nature and does not take into consideration your financial situation or individual needs and should not be relied upon. Before making any investment, insurance, tax, property, or financial planning decision, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you. Guests appearing on this podcast may have a commercial relationship with the companies mentioned. This podcast has been brought to you by Investor Women.